Thanks for tuning into my channel. My name's Simon Hill, Black American from Louisiana, coming to you live from Budapest, Hungary. And I'm just going to do a live stream from the phone to get some thoughts off about different things that have been happening, particularly in relation to the conversation we're having around this film, Taxi Driver. So, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Subscribers always going up. Views are going up. Money is going up. So I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching. But recently, my wife and I have started a series on my channel where we are reviewing films. Right now, we're on episode 40. Over these past 2 months, we've reviewed films from all over the world, all different genres, mostly dramas, but we're looking to do some more films. So if you have anything that you want us to review, send that suggestion, put it in the comments, put it in this live stream chat, whatever, right? So, what I want to do on my channel is for the films is I want to cover a lot of Black films. I want to cover a lot of recent films, but also important films, because that's what my channel is mostly about, like talking about Black issues, the issues related to fighting white supremacy and that sort of stuff. But also, I'm interested in anything, like anything that has a great story, great plot. I like to go into films not knowing what I'm going to see, not knowing what to expect. So that's what we've been doing with a lot of films, like Touch of Sin. I didn't know what it was about. I just clicked it, press play. Some other films too, Love. Most of the Gaspar Noé films, didn't know what was happening, right? But sometimes my wife is also suggesting films, and she has great taste, and she suggested great films as well. And so the recent one we did was for Taxi Driver, right? The 1978 Martin Scorsese film. I believe that was his big breakout film. And, I'm glad to see that this film is causing a lot of discussion. So on Twitter, one of our followers, the guy who's been supporting the movie review series since day one, my guy Nelson Moreno, Violator on Twitter. He's been always suggesting new films. He put us up on the Gaspar Noé. He's always leaving interesting comments. He jumps into the live streams too. So shout out to Violator. We also have a new subscriber on my channel who's been following and leaving a lot of interesting comments. His name is Sasha Khan. So shout out to Sasha Khan as well. I see we have a new person up in the live stream chat. His name is Joey C. He asked me, "You a gay?" So this person doesn't know English. The question should be, "Are you gay?" But how could I be gay if I'm married to my beautiful, sexy wife? No, I'm not gay. But even if I was gay, there is no problem with being gay. But if you think there's a problem with being gay, you probably have some latent homophobia. But continuing on. So this film, Taxi Driver, is causing a lot of discussion. Like I said, Violator left a long series of tweets on Twitter that I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see that he jumped into the conversation and gave his take. And I replied to him on Twitter and all of that. But Sasha Khan left a bunch of comments under the video that I haven't got around to replying to yet, because, I've been working. As you know, I'm an English teacher. I'm out here in Hungary trying to do my own thing, and also working on other content, not only for my channel, but Culturalist Theory as well. So I don't really have time to reply to every comment, though I try to reply to as many comments as I can. So I'm going to be replying to Sasha Khan's comments under Taxi Driver on my channel, which you can see if you click the video. You can find it, right? And I'm going to be jumping to Sasha Khan's comments. So this is for Taxi Driver. And the first comment he says is this one, right? Well, first thing he asked me, do you teach English as a foreign language independently, or do you work in a school? Are you still in Hungary? So yeah, I teach English independently. I'm an independent contractor, have my own company, and that's how I'm able to work in Europe. Do I work in a school? Yeah, I work for several schools out here in Hungary, and I also work for schools in Chile, Peru, and also some private students as well. So if you're looking to get put up on game on how to become an English teacher, holla at me. So the next comment Sasha Khan says is, I think this film, Taxi Driver, or I think this film review that said Travis is a composite of many different ideologies, hence the contradictions of him hating prostitutes and John's yet frequenting porn theaters. I haven't heard any other reviews for Taxi Driver because for me, I don't like to listen to other movie reviews. A lot of people, I feel like, are very pompous in their reviews. I feel like a lot of people are very, condescending in their reviews. Pandering for films in their views, and also some biases, right, in their views. For me, when it comes to the films, I'm always going to come to my films with a black perspective. I'm always going to come to my films, to the films I review, with a critical eye, with a Marxist eye. I'm never going to watch a film and just be, buying into everything. I'm always going to think critically about what I'm watching. So the idea that Travis is a composite of many different ideologies, I don't see the different ideologies, because to me, Travis as a character makes no sense. Travis made no sense as a person in this film, Taxi Driver. He hated prostitution. He hated pimps. He hated the degenerates of society. But what did he do? He went to porno theaters. He tried to solicit prostitution until he found out that the girl that he wanted to sleep with was a 12-year-old. Travis, in and of himself, was a degenerate. He was the same type of degenerate that he was talking about. So I don't see what other ideologies did he have. He wasn't motivated by politics. He didn't know anything about the candidate that the girl that he was lusting after for really loved. Travis didn't, know anything about economics and stuff like that. All he did was work all day and save his money and just grind it out in a taxi. Travis didn't have any motivating thing about him. He had no ideas about him that were important. He had nothing about him that really seemed to motivate him as a character. So I don't see the many different ideologies. But if you could expound on that, Sasha Khan, let me know. So I'm going to go to Mr. Flimpam59. He says, vote Trump. Trump will make America great again. America has never been great. And I don't know where Mr. Flippam is from, but I think a lot of white supremacists and neocons and conservatives online just look at American politics from afar, and they see Trump as a strong right-wing leader, like the type of authoritarian that they need in their country. But Trump is not that. We don't need Trump in America. That will probably be the end of American democracy. But I digress. Nelson Moreno says, Ayo, I was writing the reply to the tweets when I saw the notifications. Okay, shout out to Nelson. I would love to hear what you think. But, the point I'm trying to get at with this live stream here is the question I have about this film Taxi Driver is, why do we, as black people, or people who are not, straight, white, heteronormative males, we see this film and then we feel like we're obligated to applaud this film or say that this film is great when everything about this film sort of disrespects us, right? And I feel like this is an example of how I feel like what it's like to be black in this white supremacist world where we're told, the founding fathers were great men. Meanwhile, they were slave owners who raped their children, who raped literally their own children and had children with their own slaves and stuff like that. We're told that the greatest philosophers and thinkers were people who literally said that we were not human, we were subhuman. We're told that the greatest leaders of all time of industry or capital literally would not let us work in our factories, but we still have to write reports or read books or watch documentaries that say these were great men. I'm gonna just jump ahead to the main point I was trying to make. Travis rides around in his taxi cab all day saying that the people I see outside are degenerates, losers, they're less than human, and somebody needs to wipe this city clean. Now I want you to imagine this. And if you're not listening and if you're typing right now, just listen to this. Imagine Travis was an Arab Muslim man who rode around all day in his taxi, looking out at all the people he saw in society and said, Astaghfirullah, we need order in this society. This society is dirty and disgusting. All people do is drink, smoke, and have sex all day. We need to wipe this society clean. Or imagine Travis was a black man who rode around society and said, all these honkies and crackers ruining America. We need to wipe this society clean. Would this movie still have the same love that it gets from the professional cinema class? You get what I'm saying? Would this movie still have the same love that it gets from people who watch cinema all day, pontificate upon cinema, and then say, these are the greatest films of all time? That's the question I have. I would argue, no. Travis is having straight male white privilege. The ability, and the problem I have with this film at the end is that Travis has the ability to inflict whatever harm upon society, and we look upon him as the good person, as if what he did was right, when what Travis did was objectively wrong. And everybody watching the movie up to his death said Travis was tripping. Travis was tripping. But then the worst thing about this movie is that at the end, they make it seem like Travis was actually the good guy. And that is horrible. I'm going to jump into the comments right here. So Nelson Moreno says he does that because it fuels his anger. Okay, yeah, he drives around the city saying, you know, all these cities, the city has degenerates and people who are wicked and wrong, and they need to be wiped clean. That fuels his anger. That fuels the anger of a lot of young Muslim terrorists as well. That fuels the anger of a lot of young men who ride around all day saying, I can't wait to blow myself up for the name of Allah. I can't wait to commit a stabbing attack in the name of Allah. You get what I'm saying? But we would look at that film and there would be no happy ending for that person. If Travis if Travis were the Kufi and said Allahu Akbar and then blew himself up at the end, there will be no, oh, Travis survives, he gets the girl at the end, and people would say, oh, that's just a dream and that sort of stuff. The movie wouldn't even show that. You get what I'm saying? Continuing here, going to the next part. Mr. Flip Pam 59. All you say about founding fathers is wrong. They were good. It was a different time. I want to ask Mr. Flip Pam, if I fucked his mother while his mother was a slave to me, and then raped the children that come out of that mother and sold them into slavery as well, would he still say that I was a good person? Even if I lived in 1776. Mr. Flip Pam would not say that. Okay? Going on, continuing, Nelson Moreno says, this movie is not racist. It has racism in it. I agree. No. I disagree. I was about to say I agree, but I have to think about that. This movie in and of itself is racist garbage. I have to say that. Taxi Driver is one of the most racist films of all time because the inputting of black bodies into this story, using the black man as the foil who is fucking this man's wife as the reason why this man has to murder his wife and presumably also murder the man as well. Travis walking outside and seeing the people he views as degenerates as only black people. Travis murdering the black man in the grocery store. This movie is pretty racist because we live in this society right now where white supremacist terrorists are looking for any form of media to represent their ideas. And the worst thing that you can have in media is representation of their ideas where at the end of the story, they come out on top. They come out as the good guys. Let's say somebody made this movie about Brenton Tarrant. If you don't know who Brenton Tarrant is, he was the shooter who walked into that New Zealand mosque and aired out all those people. Men, women, children, people cowering in a corner, laid them all out. Brenton Tarrant truly believed he was doing a good thing. He was cleaning up society, right? The same way Travis does. If they made a movie about that, would they have a dream at the end where Brenton Tarrant makes it out and they say, Brenton, you just murdered all of the top 10 leaders of Al-Qaeda in New Zealand? No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't do that. And even if that film was made, people would say it was trash. It would probably be banned in theaters and that sort of stuff. But white men get to make movies where they go out and slaughter people in the streets, and then at the end they show them as the good guys. Even if it was a dream, showing it in and of itself is problematic. So that's my opinion, Nelson Moreno. You have to remember that we are seeing the movie from his perspective, and that's the big problem here. We as black people, we as marginalized people always have to look at white men on screen or white people in general on screen and then have to see beyond the racism that they are inflicting on the world or the double standards that they exist in. And this is what I mean by saying this. We need to decolonize our minds when we view media. We need to deprogram our minds to view the white men on screens as the ultimate heroes, as the ultimate good guys. Because this is the biggest problem. I can't believe I took this long in my life to watch this film. All right? So this film in and of itself is very, very problematic. Because I want to ask you this. How many films of black characters slaughtering people in the streets do white people then say, yeah, that's a great film? They lambaste the same white film critics who laud this film, who say Taxi Driver is one of the greatest films of all time. They hated on Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. They hated on Spike Lee's Malcolm X. They hated on Spike Lee's Get on the Bus. They hated on Spike Lee's everything because they said Spike Lee hates white people. Spike Lee is making films that are racist. Spike Lee is making films that are going to antagonize the social and racial order in America. Meanwhile, you have a film like Taxi Driver, and all the guy does is walk around New York City all day, drive around New York City all day, see black people, say they are disgusting, degenerate trash, shoots a black man in the film, has other people calling them spooks and jungle bunnies and mau-maus and niggers and all sorts of stuff, ends up killing people, and then they get to come out and be the hero. Are we serious right now? We cannot continue to look at media this way. And I don't care what anybody says about me. I will never be such a pussy, such a bitch, such a weak, degenerate black man that I will look at a film like Taxi Cab and say, yo, Travis, yo, he's ill, bro. Yo, Travis is ill. Yo, this film is really spitting some real shit. No, this film is trash. This film is trash. I'm going to give the same energy that the white supremacist society gives to black films. I'm going to give it to Taxi Driver. For real, for real. All right? Continuing here. Ozzy said, when did this movie come out? He said 1978. And listen, Ozzy asked a good question. When did this film come out? 1978. And yes, the context of a film matters. I can watch a film from the 80s, 70s, whatever, and understand that people will say, homophobic slurs, racial slurs, insensitive language to other nationalities and that sort of stuff. I watched Trading Places. Trading Places was one of the first reviews we did on my channel. I didn't sit there and complain like, the people are just so racist. This is a racist film. No, that's how people talked back then. All right? I could understand that. But the central plot point of this film is that the society is decaying. Why? Because of what? Integration? Because Travis drives around New York and sees black people picking up people in the back of his cab who are going to murder their wives for sleeping with niggers? Is that what we're talking about here? Is this the type of film that we as the people that Travis would look at if the hypothetical Travis were real, even though there are real Travises walking around, they look at us and say we're degenerates, we're subhuman, we're less than. We're gonna look at a film like that and say, yo, that's an ill film. Nah, fuck that film. Fuck Taxi Driver. Most racist film I've ever seen of all time. Continuing here. Mr. Flip Pam, I don't really care about your movies. Just vote Trump and join the team. Mr. Flip Pam, I wonder why you want to suck Trump's cock so bad. Trump has not paid any of his contractors. Mr. Flip Pam, if you're listening to me on my live stream right now, I'm pretty sure you don't make that much money. And people like you couldn't even breathe the same air that Trump breathes. He wouldn't let you into Mar-a-Lago. You don't have enough money to stay at any of his hotels or apartments. So I wonder why stupid, poor, white supremacists, dumb people want to vote for Trump and honestly fillet the man who would piss on them and piss on their graves. Trump doesn't care about any of you stupid motherfuckers who want to vote for him. But go ahead and vote for Trump, I guess. He's going to lose anyway, and he's probably going to be a convicted felon as well. So continuing here, Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro, Danny P. Luto says, yep, we're talking about that. So the film doesn't have a happy ending, Nelson Moreno says. It's an ambiguous ending at best. I totally disagree. How do you see this film and be like, yo, it doesn't have a... Travis literally is shown as living. Anybody saying that this film is just a dream, the ending of this film is just a dream, is coping. They're making it up. They're literally making this up. It is fake. It is fake. This is the thing. I think a lot of people outside of America might see this film and be like, yo, that's impossible. Ain't no way you can go in and murder people in society and get away with it and become a hero. They don't understand. I think this is the difference, man. As an American, as a person who grew up in this gun culture crazy society, I know for a fact that there are people who will look at Travis and say, yep, that can happen. That can definitely happen. And I'm pretty sure if we dug in the archives, a story like Travis did absolutely happen, where somebody went inside and murdered a bunch of people and got off with it. Especially if these people are poor, if they're a part of the underworld, if they're a part of the underclass. Hell yes, America has done that plenty of times. And lone wolf terrorists, white supremacist terrorists like Travis. Think about Black Wall Street. Think about Black Wall Street, where a bunch of white supremacists basically bombed an entire city, literally with planes, flew over a city with planes and dropped bombs on it, and one of them went to jail. All of them got to live happy lives until their 80s and 90s until they croaked. What are we talking about? Think about Rosewood. They burned an entire city to the ground, and they got to walk away with it free. People think it's outlandish to think that white men committing violence in America could end with them just walking away scot-free. Are we serious now? See, this is because y'all don't come from countries where y'all really know the devil. I really come from Louisiana. We know the devil. We look these devils right in the eye every single day. Are you serious right now? A person like Travis has existed, and they still exist right now. And the worst part about this film, Taxi Driver will inspire them. Seriously. I guarantee you this year, if not next year, there will be another mass shooting where another crazy white man on some lone wolf mission thinking he's going to cleanse society of the undesirables will walk into a school, a supermarket, a church, a public venue, and lay down 40, 50 people with a semi-automatic rifle. And I guarantee you he watched Taxi Driver. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Continuing here. Danny P. Luto, don't they say this is the Quentin Tarantino also? And he is also on the biggest stage with his scripts. As far as Tarantino films, I'm not that well versed in Tarantino films, right? And now that I've started doing movie reviews, I would like to start doing some Tarantino to start looking at them with a critical eye. Of course, I've seen Django. Of course, I've seen Pulp Fiction. Of course, I've seen Reservoir Dogs and all that sort of stuff. But that was when I was much younger, before I had a political and social education, before I had life experience, before all of that. And I probably was just looking at films like, yo, that's an ill film. You get what I'm saying? But I think there is a critique to have of Quentin Tarantino's films too. But Quentin Tarantino's films, like in Django, right, the use of the N-word in there is meant to make the ills of racism and slavery in that society more real. You get what I'm saying? I don't think it's meant as a plot point to just degrade the society, to then make the main character do something heinous at the end. Continuing here, Nelson Moreno says, he didn't went out killing innocent people, not even close. Okay, I would say, no. This might be wrong, but wasn't Sport innocent? Sport was chilling. Sport, for all of his good. All right, see, this is the problem with the film. Nelson Moreno was sympathizing with the terrorists. Nelson Moreno was sympathizing with the person who committed blatant murder. At the end of the day, we live in a society, as they said in Seinfeld, right? As the meme has come from Joker and all that sort of stuff. We live in a society. As much as we all hate pimps who abuse young girls, as much as we all hate people who sell drugs to minors and stuff like that, we cannot just go outside and murder them. Trust me, nothing would make me happier than going into a Proud Boys office and laying out a bunch of people, but I would never do that, and I would never condone anybody doing that. Nothing would make me happier than seeing a KKK rally get firebombed. But that is not how we handle things in society. The fight against white supremacy is not a battle of fists. It's not a battle of guns. It's not a battle of knives. It's a battle of words and ideas and outliving. That's it, period. Travis's view and the view of a lot of angry white men is that the only way to fix society is the way our ancestors did it, by slaughtering and raping and murdering a bunch of people. So no, Travis did murder innocent people at the end. Sport, if Travis really didn't like Sport, call the police. Hey, this guy is pimping a 12-year-old girl. Get him out of here. Hey, this is a whorehouse right here. Get him out of here, and that sort of stuff. But he did kill innocent people. The only innocent person he didn't kill, and the movie made it so, is that he did kill a black man who was holding up a store with a gun in the face, even though we didn't see the gun in the face. We didn't see the gun. Notice that in Taxi Driver, we didn't see the black man hold the gun in the face of the bodega owner. So yeah. Who knows? Who knows? That's what I'm saying, man. This film doesn't even try to justify the murder of black people. It just says Travis can do it because why? Because, you know what, they're black in society. Continuing here. So, Mr. Flip Pam, also you're complaining about a movie from the 1970s or something. No, Mr. Flip Pam, you are an idiot who doesn't understand critical viewing of films. You're a person who just says, black people complain whenever we talk about anything in society. Because, Mr. Flip Pam, I'm pretty sure the only black people you've had interactions with are the people you see on screen who are rapping, dancing, and playing sports for your entertainment. What we do on this channel is have a critical eye on media, on the news and everything, and discuss it. So I am discussing the film and I am giving my opinion. And in my opinion, Mr. Flip Pam, this film Taxi Driver makes stupid people like you not see that our society is built on white supremacy, it's built on capitalism, that keeps dumb people like you thinking people like me are the enemy, rather than the boss who exploits you, who got you working for $400 a week or $1,200 a month, or however much you make, that obviously got you broke to poor and dispossessed, hanging out on my live stream in the chat. Danny P. Luto, it's not Spike Lee's fault. He has to hold back on his vision. I agree. Spike Lee has had to hold back on so many films that he wanted to make in his career. And Spike Lee, by far, is the greatest American filmmaker. And he has gotten an unfair shake by the white supremacist film critics who rule American media. Going here. So, Mr. Flip Pan, so do you vote Sleepy Joe? No, I endorse Cornel West for president. So if you do vote in 2024, I highly encourage all Americans and not random anons on the internet like Mr. Flip Pam, who could be a Russian bot in Ukraine or whatever. I endorse Cornel West for president. So if you are listening to me, vote for Cornel West. He's the only candidate actively talking about reparations for Black Americans who are descendants of slavery. Period. So, vote Cornel West. Danny Piluto, LA Confidential, and Devil in a Blue Dress is all about white women, and the scripts are super racist, and I love the movie because it made it that real. Why care about dumb whites that hang out on two stupidity? I don't know exactly what you mean, but this is the thing. This is the thing, Danny Piluto. My opinion is that when we talk about film, as Black critics, because for so long, film criticism has been done by people in the dominant society who tell us this thing is great. And those are the same people who tell us Columbus discovered America, or that there were happy slaves during slavery, or that, Martin Luther King was a troublemaker. All the stupid shit the white supremacists tell us in this world that we live in, all right? All the stupid people who tell us this, and I'm going to jump to Nelson Moreno's comments and more later, we need to have a critical eye. And this is why I think the film reviews I do are important. And this is why I'm so glad that we finally did Taxi Driver, because this film is incredibly problematic. And the problem is that there are so many Black people, unfortunately, who watch so much media where white men are the protagonists. And even though these white men are actively racist, or we know that they were racist if they were based on historical figures, we still have to say, yo, George Washington or Abraham Lincoln was an ill dude. Stop that. All right, Nelson Moreno says we need to move this chat to live. I would love to have this discussion with you, Nelson. Absolutely. Jump into the comments. We might do the live later after I go to work, because I got to go back to work after this live stream. So Travis was a sexual deviant as well, says Danny Piluto. Isn't it ironic that he chose to deliver some sort of judgment by murdering instead of addressing his sexuality, sex life? That's a very good point, Danny Piluto, because in the film, we never saw Travis have sex. And in fact, I would argue Travis never had sexual attraction, because we never saw, a scene of Travis like jerking off, or we never saw Travis in his apartment with, pictures of big titty women on the wall. All Travis did, he wanted to own these women. He wanted to save these women. Travis was the traditional Captain Save-A-Ho. So I would argue that maybe Travis did have some deep-seated sexual deviancy, though I kind of don't want to use that word like that, because who's to say, what somebody else's sexuality is deviant, right? But I'll just say this. Yeah, the big fault in Taxi Driver is that Travis is like this individual man plopped out of nowhere with no background. We don't know his religion. We don't know what state he's from. We don't know his ethnic background. We know Robert De Niro is like a WAP. We know he's a Dago, right? But, at the end of the day, there is no background on Travis. So we're forced to try to understand and sympathize with his wild, crazy mind. Because the thing is, in any film, you have to sympathize with the protagonist. That's the point of having a protagonist, even if it's a bad character, right? Even if it's like Venom in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If the movie is about Venom, you want to see Venom win, because that's the guy who you're watching the most, right? That's just who you're naturally going to sympathize for. If they made a movie about Hitler, unfortunately, that movie would be hella... In fact, there was a movie about Hitler. It was like Guess Who's Back, right? And Hitler resurrects in like the 21st century, and he's trying to get the Nazi party back in order and stuff like that. And then what is he met with? He's met with a lot of people who claim to be Nazis, claim to be right-wing, claim to be, the vanguard for Aryan civilization. And what do? They're neckbeard cucks who stay online and stay in live streams like mine, just harassing Black people, rather than being about it and actually going out and committing the heinous atrocities that they type about on 4chan. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, there is sympathy that is naturally how a protagonist, and Travis is no different. So, Nelson Moreno says again, that ending definitely wasn't a happy ending, only if you take it at the surface. Okay, I feel like we're just going in circles here, Nelson, because in any film, what you show is the lasting impact on people. And Nelson, I just want to ask you this question. Nelson. I want to ask you this question for real. Would there be a film where they showed at the end a Muslim extremist terrorist walking into a supermarket, slaying 30 people, and then at the end they show him, with paper clippings on the wall saying Abdul was a hero, he saved people, and all that sort of stuff? Would that movie be made, Nelson Moreno? That's the point I'm trying to make. Even if, I will concede this right now, even if in Taxi Driver, The ending is all a dream. Just showing it in and of itself is sending the message that this is problematic. Do you get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I want to hear what Nelson's got to say right here. So, so Travis was a sexual deviant. Going back to Mr. Flippam 59 because he's in the chat trolling because he wants to help my channel blow up. And I want to say thank you to everybody in the comments right now because this is really active. I did not expect so many people to be interested in this talk about. Taxi Driver, or to hear what I have to say about it. But Mr. Flippam says it's time to take your schizo pills. I'm very mentally healthy. My wife is a psychologist. I'm here studying at university in Budapest. I work like 4 or 5 jobs where people who probably look like you, Mr. Flippam, look up to me as a harbinger of knowledge. So, and you obviously do as well, which is why you're in my live stream entertaining what I have to say. So I want to say thank you, but no, I am mentally healthy. Mr. Flippam says you only vote Cornel West because of his skin color. No, I vote because he is against anti-imperialism, which is what the American government has been up to. I am against all forms of overthrowing democratically elected leaders. I am against giving more money to Zionist Israel, which is committing a genocide. I am for reparations to Black American descendants of slaves, and I'm also for reparations for Native Americans, the freeing of Puerto Rico, giving Puerto Rico its independence, the ending of the embargo on Cuba, all the things, Mr. Flippam, that you haven't even comprehended because you don't believe that a handsome, intelligent, melanated Black man like me could even have an opinion on those issues. Those are the things that I am for. Cornel West is for. Joe Biden is not for them, and Donald Trump is definitely not for them because Donald Trump is a white supremacist racist who only is concerned with his bottom line and extorting the American people and stupid white people like you who want to vote for him. So continuing here, Shada says, always gay Black guys on live. I wonder where, because it's not here. But even if I was gay, that would be A-okay. I wonder why people think it's an insult to call somebody gay. Like in 2024, we're still calling people gay. This is like saying that you're Black, shut up. Like this is something that should be insulting to people, but I find that hilarious. Mr. Flippam, I'm proud right politics. Unlike you, you are lost. Okay, Mr. Flippam, if you want right-wing politics, I will help you out, my friend. There's a great channel called Red Eagle. Red Eagle Politics, type them in on YouTube. They go live all the time. They say all the stupid shit that you want to hear, like we should ban abortion in America and make women get raped by their fathers so they're forced to have children, or, you know, we should close the border and let people die while we destroy their nations in Southern and Latin America because Americans are obsessed with putting more cocaine in their nose. There are so many right-wing channels on YouTube. It's great. You don't have to hang out on this communist, socialist, left-wing section where we have critical dialogue and actually challenge ideas of the dominant society while we fight for all the rights for people just like you as well. You don't have to be a part of that. You can go be a part of the tribe that's all about calling Black people niggers and saying homophobic slurs to people who are probably in your family or probably you are as well. You could hang out there. You don't have to be on this side. So Shada says they're mostly bald. Well, they're probably also very handsome as well. Mr. Flippam says, for real, Shada, this guy's speaking out of his ass. No, I'm speaking with intelligence, but I'll speak out of your mama's ass when I blow her back out. And she be hollering, Simon, big top, why you do me like that? So Shada says, what about Danny DeVito in Taxi? Do you rate that performance? Danny DeVito was not in Taxi. Shada is not smart at all. Israel has the right to defend itself. What are you talking about? Mr. Flippam then says October 7th. Shada says, Trump's a legend, bro. He's a legend for extorting stupid white people out of their money. It's amazing what you can do when you just say right-wing talking points to white folks. They just say, shut up and take my money. It's great. Mr. Flippam says, true Trump good. Man, I've never seen 2 men who called another man gay. Meanwhile, they are on another man's dick. These guys seriously want to fillet Donald Trump so bad. I can't wait. Y'all want to suck Donald's dick more than Melania does. Y'all are crazy. Danny P. Luto, funded by the USA too. That's what Ozzy says. I don't know exactly what y'all are talking about. But yeah, going back to the comments here, because I'm replying to the comments from my new subscriber, Sasha Khan. So he says this about sport. Sasha Khan, under the video about Taxi Driver, he says, I'd argue sport knowingly doesn't love her, even hypothetically, even if he had a warped concept that she was somehow not really a kid, quote unquote. The fact he was pimping her out shows he only had practical commercial and pedophilic sexual motivations. On the other hand, some abusive parents or abusive spouses, for example, have cognitive dissonance, but I think sport is evil in a self-aware way. That's a very deep point from Sasha Khan, and I like what he's saying there. As for the scene with sport with, I forgot her name. What was the name of the young girl? Oh, somebody help me out. Sport with the young girl who was a prostitute. I forgot her name. I'm going to call her Flower. So sport with Flower. When they're having that intimate moment where they're dancing and, Flower is saying I want to leave the life. Sport, why do you do this to me? Why do you say this about me? And Sport is saying to her, like, I love you, let's be together. And they have like a slow romantic dance in the hotel room. I didn't view that as love, but I see that the film is trying to paint that as love or something more intimate because it's juxtaposed to Travis's non-existent love, where all he does is have cafe dates with women that go horribly wrong. Meanwhile, other men in these women's lives, like Betsy and the guy she works with, or Sport and Flower, I forgot her name. Somebody help me out with the name of the young girl that was getting pimped out, whatever. They're showing that, Travis doesn't have that sort of relationship with women. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't think Sport loves her, but I'm not going to die on that hill because I do think he's a pimp at the end of the day. So a pimp is going to do whatever. Iris, yes, Ozzy. Thank you, Iris. So, yeah. Iris and Sport have an interesting relationship because she's young and impressionable. Plus, she's also a prostitute under her daddy. So under her daddy is going to keep her, on a leash. And he's going to keep her tight and he's going to play with her mind because that's what a pimp do if you want to keep her on the blade. So, yeah, breaking down who Sport was, does this justify Sport being killed, though? We all agree that Sport was bad. But did Sport deserve to die? I want to ask that to the audience. Ozzy, what do you think? Did Sport deserve to die? Nelson, did Sport deserve to die the way he did? Sure, he could go to jail. Sure, he could get the chair. Sure, he could get 50 years in prison and get shanked in the showers. But did he deserve to die like that? That's the question. You get what I'm saying? So, going to Sasha Khan's next comment, he said, also, if he openly told her, I'm just using you, she would be more likely to try to escape. Facts. I mean, yeah, it's obvious that Sport was using pimp tactics to keep her mind down. But even with all of that being said, I don't think, what Travis was offering Iris was any better. Because Travis probably would have ended up killing Iris, to be honest. Like, at the end of the day, Travis did not know how to love. He did not know how to convince. He did not know how to woo a woman with words. All Travis knew how to do was basically just abuse and manipulate and throw salt and throw salt on other players' names. You get what I'm saying? When he met Betsy, all he did was throw salt on the guy she worked with. When he met Iris, all he did was throw salt on her pimp and stuff like that. And yeah, Iris needed to be saved out of that situation because no 12-year-old deserves to get pimped. But go into the comments here. Danny P. Luto said, I heard a quote from a past Democratic president. We'll have these N-words voting Democrat for 300 years. That was Lyndon B. Johnson who said that too. And Lyndon B. Johnson was a president, who assumed office after John F. Kennedy was killed. And yeah, because of his passing of the Civil Rights Act, we have the great party switch where many of the racist Southern Democrats became Republicans sort of overnight because how dare the Democrats sign a bill. The Democrats at that time were the racist Southern white supremacist party. How dare they sign a bill saying that the N-words can go to school with our children, or that the N-words can go to hospitals with us and die with us or be born with us and that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's why Lyndon B. Johnson said that. And once again, I'm going to make this point here. I am not complaining about taxi drivers' use of the N-word. For any simple-minded, stupid motherfuckers who want to jump in here and say that, that is not what I'm trying to say. Because I am not mad at Lyndon B. Johnson saying the N-word when talking about passing the Civil Rights Act. That's not what I'm mad about. That's not because the most important thing is that he passed the Civil Rights Act and it's an overall good. I don't care who does good on fighting white supremacy, whether that be an actual white supremacist who works against their own interest or their own perceived interest, or people who are, actively fighting against the system who can point out all the inequities and wrong and that sort of stuff. That's not the point I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is this. This film, Taxi Driver, makes N-words be the main point. All right, for 300 years, we will call these N-words N-words and make it a point to say that they are the reason our society is degenerate, which is what Taxi Driver is trying to do, in my opinion, as I view it. So, yeah. Going to the next comment, Shada says, are you bald by choice or nature? So I lost my hair when I was about 20. Well, I didn't lose my hair. I just decided to shave because I can still grow my hair. But I used to have locks that went down to my shoulders. But yeah, got the bad part of the genes, bald up top, you know. I can't help it. So instead of being that guy who holds on to his dreads with the crown in the middle, I just say, you know what, let it go. But this is the good thing about being black, right? The good thing about being black is that as a black man, we're so secure in our masculinity, unlike a lot of white supremacists who have to cosplay as racists and Nazis and groypers online to boost up their masculinity, to make themselves seem more masculine by punching down on a group of people that they themselves believe are inferior. As a black man, we have icons like Michael Jordan, like Tupac, like so many other black men who made it a fashion trend to be bald and to make it cool to be bald. And as a black man, you know, I'm very proud to be bald because it makes me handsome. And hey, my wife likes it too, so I'm not complaining. My dad was a strong, handsome, melanated black man too, bald for all the years I knew him, even though he had hair and afros back in the 60s and 70s and stuff like that. But hey, that's how life goes. Hopefully you can live long enough one day to go bald. But yeah. All right, so Mr. Flippan says probably by nature, bald from negative intelligence. Mr. Flippan thinks that I'm so stupid. Meanwhile, he's in the live stream of a stupid person. So what does that make him? Going on to the next comment, bald from head rubs when he goes down on the local guys. All right, so yeah, once again, even if I did go down on local guys, even if I was gay, which I am not, how is that a bad thing? But I probably went down on eating your mama's bald-ass pussy that I blew out last night, Shada. Going on ahead. So Mr. Flippan says, ha ha, yeah. So they're laughing at homophobic jokes, but we all know deep down inside, people that laugh at homophobia, people who think it's funny to make fun of gay people, are usually probably gay themselves. I don't know why people assume that I'm gay on my channel when all I do is talk about my big booty wife, show my big booty wife, but it doesn't matter. Going here. So sport was Harvey Keitel. This is what Shada said. I don't know who the actor was who played him. So Nelson Moreno says 1,000% black people are not the main point, Simon. Nelson Moreno, you did not answer my question. Answer my question, good sir. Would a movie be made of a Muslim terrorist walking into a mall, slaughtering a bunch of people, and then at the end of the film, they show paper clippings saying that Abdul was a hero, and that Abdul then gets to live his life and get the girl? Even if that's shown, Nelson Moreno, answer the question, or I will not be reading the next comment that you post. I swear to God, you got to answer the question. So Mr. Flippan59 says, Trump loves black people. Didn't you see the picture from Kanye West? Mr. Flipfam is trolling because apparently I'm dumb, but Kanye West is smart. Okay, continuing here. Sonic Ring says something, but then he retracted the message. Dean Schultz says, you're a good-looking, articulate man. Thank you, Dean Schultz. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about Taxi Driver. For black cinema critics, black people who view media, we, at least for me, on my end, and anybody who agrees with me, anybody who stands with me, we're not going to watch these films anymore and just, you know, applaud them for being great. Okay, I don't know why that didn't show up, Nelson. Anyway, the point I was trying to say, we're not going to watch these films that are praised as the greatest of all time, like Godfather, like Goodfellas, like all these sorts of stuff, where a lot of the times they're just showing white men acting very badly, and then we have to project our lives onto them or sympathize with them. No, I'm not going to sympathize with Travis. I'm not going to sympathize with anybody who, you know, looks at black people in society in a film and says they are the degenerates and they need to get washed out. No, I'm not gonna sympathize with that. Nelson Moreno, you answered around 4 times, but it's not showing up. I want you to try to answer. If not, I would love to hear your answer on the live. If you don't know, guys, follow me on Twitter. It's Laji Amriki, Lajiamriki. That stands for American Refugee. And in Arabic, yeah, I used to study Arabic. So yeah, follow me on Twitter if you want to jump into these movie discussions. Or if you want to chop it up about any topic, let me know. Let me know. So Shada said, is everything in your life about being black? That's a very good question. That's a very deep question because I did not create this society. I did not create this world that told me that You know, like I was told when I was applying for English teaching jobs, we don't want to hire black teachers. Even though I am a native English speaking teacher from the deep, deep South of America, know more about American society than most white folks know about society, and have been excellent at my job, which is why I'm very successful at what I do. And yeah, I did not create the society that says that, you know, black men get incarcerated at 2 times the rate as white men. I did not create the society that says black men are the ones who will be killed by the police 2 times more likely than white men. I did not create the society that then says black people, black women will be more likely to die in the hospital because of ill treatment from doctors. I didn't create that. So then I have to ask the question. Why does that exist? So no, I did not make my life all about being black. The white supremacists did, and all I am doing is studying it. Of course, there are intersections in my life. Of course, I'm not just a handsome, melanated black man who's highly intelligent, funny, sophisticated, and well-traveled, and moderately middle class. No, I'm more than that. I'm a Muslim. I'm a guitar player. I'm a amateur cook, film critic, music writer. There are many things that are about me. But I wonder why, for so long, the society that we live in has created this system where people that look like me or viewed as such like me get different outcomes, which is why I'm in Budapest studying sociology, which is why I want to get my PhD and be the first black man ever in the first black American man to get a PhD from a Hungarian institution. So yeah, Shada, I hope that answers your questions. All right. So going here, you're going to hate me if we're going live today, Simon. Nelson Moreno, it's all love. We're just discussing film, but this is the thing, man. You know, Nelson Moreno, I want to say this. There were black people that called my phone, that literally picked up their phone, found my number, and called me to yell at me about pointing out racism that I experienced while traveling abroad. I don't have respect for that. That's the thing. We as black folks, when we talk about or when we point out anti-black racism or white supremacy, why is so many black folks' minds programmed to say, let's defend the white supremacists? I'm out here pointing out that this film is showing black people as degenerates, making black people the main focal point that motivates the character to then commit a heinous crime at the end. I'm pointing all of that out, but yet and still we have people who will still stand up and say Taxi Driver is a great film, the film is not that bad, and we should still love it. When honestly, black film directors have been making better films that talk about these subjects all the time. Spike Lee, for example. And there are white people who make films about these same subjects, like Quentin Tarantino, talking about the alienation that young white men feel in a society that's moving past them, in much better fashion, where black people are not the punching bag, where we're not the focal point. That's the thing that I'm trying to understand with you guys. That's what I'm trying to understand. But Nelson Moreno, we can chop it up and talk about it. So Craig Mack jumped into the comments, but then he deleted them. Shada said, I doubt that was said to you. This is the thing. The white supremacists just doubt and deny everything from our existence, because to them, what we're supposed to do is basically just rap, sing, dance, entertain, and we're not supposed to have lived human experiences. If a woman were on live stream talking about a time she was raped, sexually assaulted, or anything like that, nobody would ever doubt that. But when multiple millions of black people talk about the racism that we experience every day, the knee-jerk reaction of white supremacists or people who are sympathetic towards them, they say that never happened. That's a part of maintaining the status quo. So Shada said, I'm going to sub. I like debate. Honestly, Shada, there's no point in debating with you, because obviously you're a troll and you're a person who is not, and this is the most disappointing thing, that you're from Ireland. It's the most disappointing thing that Shada is from Ireland. Shada is from a country that was colonized. He might be from Northern Ireland, so he might suck English cock. But if you're from Ireland talking white supremacist talking points against black people, when black people have been fighting against the same forces that colonized your country, You a bitch. Oh, not see. This is the thing. We got to start pulling these people cards. Shada comes from Ireland, and he is being an anti-black racist. Meanwhile, the Queen got his whole country bent over and starved them niggas from potatoes. Are we seriously talking about? Are we seriously talking about this? Your bitch ass country got whipped, raped, and mutilated by the English, and you're up here holding up white supremacy. What a bitch. See, this is the thing, Nelson Moreno, and anybody else who wants to stand up for Taxi Driver. This is the thing. We cannot be like bitch ass Irish people like Shada who want to defend a system that then degrades them. Taxi Driver is a degrading film for black people, point blank, period. And people like Shada see that and then say, yep, I want to defend that. I'm going to fight on side of that. I bet Shada want to suck King Charles' dick. What a bitch. What a bitch. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, man. He's Irish talking that shit. Oh, my God. I hope the IRA come back and murk his ass. Anyway, Ozzy says, where are you guys from or where do you live? He said this to the white supremacists in the chat. Nelson Moreno says, I won't deny your living experiences, but I will definitely deny you on this film. I love this guy, Nelson, man. I love this guy. Shout out to Nelson. Ozzy says, guess I'm never visiting the UK or Ireland. Okay, so Mr. Flippan says, okay, Black, they say blacks can't be racist. So Mr. Flippan is just now reaching for the bottom of the barrel. I don't know whatever he's trying to say. Of course, black people can be racist, but we don't have a system of black supremacy that the world lives under, where media tells you every day that black women are more beautiful than white women, or that, white life is more precious than, black life is more precious than white life. We don't have nations armed with nuclear bombs that are all black that can put the whole world into nuclear winter. Meanwhile, the white supremacists have that. Of course, black people can call a stupid white supremacist like Mr. Flippam a peckerwood cracker. We could call him that. But do I have the ability to shoot his wife, his children, and him in the back if I were the police officer and get away with it? No, I can't. Going on here. I like the way you quickly labeled the whole country. No, Shada, I quickly labeled you as a bitch. You are a bitch as an Irish person defending white supremacy. Meanwhile, the white supremacists tested out everything they did to Africa, to the Americas, to Oceania and Asia on you bitch-ass Irish people. And you are up here defending it. What a hoe. Shada, you are a hoe, and your whole country, Ireland, is hoe-ish if they think like you. I know there's some writers out in Ireland. I know they got real revolutionaries out in Ireland who don't think like you, who don't think your white skin makes you superior to other people, and therefore you have to pick up the talking points of the same people who look down on the Irish and say, you niggas don't deserve potatoes. What a hoe. Shada, you are a hoe, and you are a disrespect to Irish heritage. What a bitch. What a bitch. What a bitch. What a bitch. Anyway, continuing here. Nelson Moreno says, black people did not make him go crazy. You are misunderstanding it deeply. So Nelson Moreno, I want to ask you, at the beginning of the film, when he's riding around New York and he looks outside and he sees all these black people who we presume to be prostitutes, drug dealers, and pimps, and then the first lines out of his mouth are, this society is degenerate, it needs to be washed away. What are we supposed to think? When he walks outside the cafe and he sees that young black man and he just ice grills him like this, what are we supposed to think? When he murders that black man in the grocery store, what are we supposed to think? When the literal director of the film jumps in the back seat of the taxi cab and says, my wife is sleeping with a N-word, with a nigger, and therefore I will kill her, what am I supposed to think? Nelson Moreno, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Craig Mack says, what up, Simon? I flew into Montenegro today. I see that you found a barbershop in Hungary. Hey, I just do the shave, man. I do the bic. I do the bic to keep it slick. You feel me? I do the bic to keep it slick. Anyway, continuing here. Sonic Rings, I haven't watched Taxi in a while. Is it a horrible movie? No, I said in the review I did, it's actually a good movie to watch for the cinematography. Like, I'm not going to take it away from Martin Scorsese. He is a great director. He is a director that can make even a taxi ride look beautiful, right? The cinematography of this film, Sonic Rings, is actually very good. But the message of this film is extremely dangerous, problematic, and as a black person, I cannot co-sign it. I cannot co-sign it. Ozzy says, Greg Mack, salute. I want to visit the Balkans. I haven't had a chance to visit Montenegro yet. We were going to, but then, Hungary came up, so now I'm here. So you should have some to this guy, Shada. He's not worth your time. So Mr. Flippam 659, of course, because he cannot keep up with my wonderful wit, my intelligence, and also how I am able to read people for the filth, which is why Mr. Flippam doesn't want to reveal where he is from. Mr. Flippam, tell us your country of origin and how your country country was abused by the white supremacists, and let's really get in that ass. Because if you're from India talking this shit, if you're from Pakistan, if you're from anywhere, basically anywhere in the world that is not England, talking this shit to me, holding up these white supremacist talking points, you are a hoe. And your mama was a hoe. And your mama was a bitch who liked to suck big black cock, like mine, which she does. Thank you, Mr. Flip Fam. So Nelson Moreno says, that's what he says. He also says women are cold and evil. The movie says different. That's what he says. He also says women are cold and evil. The movie says different. Nelson Moreno repeated that again. So Nelson Moreno says, the message of the movie is definitely not black makes places bad, not even close. Okay, all right, this is getting ridiculous now. We're going in circles. Nelson Moreno, you keep like saying, the movie doesn't say that, the movie doesn't say that, but the movie only says that. Are we serious now? Oh God, you guys are killing me. You guys are killing me in the chat. You're killing me. You are literally killing me in the chat. Oh, Jesus Christ. Mr. Flip Fan says, I'm gay. Okay. Mr. Flip Fan, I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna fuck you, Mr. Flip Fan. Since I'm gay, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass and make you my bitch. Since all you want to do is talk to me. All right. So, all right. Here comes Shada again with his bitch ass Irish takes. Top of the morning to you, lad. Mr. Shata, I know you're off the whiskey. You're too much on the whiskey, Shata. Shata, put the Irish coffee down. You're talking out your ass, Shata. You need to go out to the field, Shata. Your wife is pregnant with a 7th child, Shata. You need to get off my live stream, Shata, and go fight the English and get your country back. Stop being a bitch and talking to a black man like you're better. The English look at you as a nigger. You a nigger. You a nigger, Shata. Don't come on my live stream, Shata. You a bitch, Shata. What bitch-ass Irishman talking white supremacist talking points? Are we seriously doing that? Oh, God. Anyway. And Shada, that's a Pakistani accent? Yeah, because basically your country is overrun by Pakistanis. You don't even own your own country. The British let all the degenerates and the subhumans in. Now to make yourself feel better, you have to talk to a black man like this. Shata, you're coming up short like a leprechaun, Shata. You a bitch, Shata, and your mama's a bitch too. Go out into the green fields of Dover. Just jump off the cliffs of Dover, Shata, since you love the English so much, Shata. I got love for the Irish, man, and free Ireland for real, But Shada, you a bitch. I can't believe an Irishman is talking to me this way. This is too short, medium for me to explain it to you, says Nelson Moreno. All right, so yeah. Anyway, I'm about to go back to work and chill, but this has been a very fun live stream. So yeah. All right, so Nelson Moreno, we're gonna chop it up on the live stream. If y'all wanna chop it up with me in person, just follow me on Twitter, Laji Amriki. You know where to find me. It's not hard to find. Let's chop it up. Let's debate. Let's talk about this film. Nelson will probably do it in an hour or something. Anyway, Sonic Ring said, Shata had potatoes and whiskey for breakfast. Shata had potatoes and whiskey for breakfast. Now his mind is loopy. Anyway, Craftsman said hello. Shout out to Craftsman. Shout out to Craig Mack. Shout out to everybody. Peace.